Yes, welcome back to another video, and today we are just now 7 days out from the pro debut in Germany. We're training at Nottingham Strong, we're getting it done. So at this point we've got plenty to talk about, plenty to get into. My plan was to come on here, sit down and talk to the camera, but I get in the gym at this point, I just want to get the training done. So I'm going to talk as I go. We're getting a pool session in, 7 days out. Follow along, guys. We're going to talk peak weeks, we're going to talk mental state at this point, we're going to talk how the prep's been. So yeah, let's get into it. Oh. Oh. Woo. Right, so in terms of the training at this point, it will change a little bit this week, but this is probably like the last session where I'm moving quite a bit of weight. So I'm not really an advocate of training lighter through prep. I like to keep everything nice and heavy all the way through up until peak week. And then peak week, you're training, your body wants to be recovering, you don't want to be breaking down muscle. So I'll come in the gym and there'll be more like pump kind of sessions where I'm not going too crazy. But at this point, this is the last session today where I'm keeping the weight moving. Not doing anything stupid though, you don't want to be getting injured, so be very mindful of the quality of your reps and stuff like that. But yeah, just keeping it simple. Same workouts I've been doing through prep. And so far, feeling good. Oh. This video will not be a representation of my current energy, maybe it will, current energy levels, because when I come in the gym, had a bit of pre-workout, I'm feeling good, the music's blasting. The rest of the day, I'm pretty miserable. I joke about being miserable, I'm not a miserable person. Someone might beg to differ out there, but I feel like I'm not that bad during prep. But yeah, energy levels have been low as of late as I've pushed more and more for condition. In terms of food at this point, has been pretty low. I am running quite flat and depleted, but I'm willing to just push that through until the carb up now, which I'll talk on in a bit when we go through the peak week plan. So yeah, feeling a bit depleted, bit tired, but yeah, we just keep the training moving and keep the weights going. Oh. Oh. Ooh. Nice, that. I'm going to do that again. In terms of how this prep's gone, we are now 19 weeks in. I do like a longer, steadier prep rather than a shorter one of say 12 weeks, being a bit more aggressive. And I think that results in maintaining my strength more and everything. I'm not panicking week to week, having to drop my food crazy amounts. It is a slow and steady process. But in comparison this year to last year's prep, it has been very different. I mean, this is my 4th year in a row prepping. And obviously, end of last year, I won my pro card at the Worlds. So this is my first prep as a pro. And I feel like my mindset's been in a completely different space this prep. So last year, I put a lot of pressure on myself. I'd won the British titles the 2 years previous. I really wanted to turn pro real bad. Had stuff go off like away from competing in my personal life. And I felt like I'd made a lot of sacrifices for competing. And I wanted to be making sure I got the very most of it. I'm winning my pro card and my 3rd British title. So when the prep is all based on an outcome, I felt like that caused me a lot of anxiety through the prep. And prep wasn't very enjoyable last year, even though it served me well because it helped me push and it helped me to achieve my goals. But this year, it's all a bit new to me, feeling the way that I've felt. It's been a bit different in terms of I've not competed as a pro yet, so I don't know what to expect in terms of where I'm going to be placing and stuff, because I think that's an important message for people watching this who do compete or are planning on competing. I feel like your expectations of what you're going to get from a show should be set from your previous achievements or not having competed yet. So let's say you're competing for the first time, your expectation should just be, I'm going to compete, see how I get on. If you are aiming to turn pro, then I feel like you should have a little bit of a background that proves that you are close to being a pro at least, maybe won shows or whatever. So I feel like your outcomes lead to your expectations. So this year, I've not had as much expectation or anxiety on myself or pressure on myself. The only thing I've really been pushing for is to make sure I'm better than last year. There is no chance I'm getting on a pro stage and bringing the same or worse, obviously, physique. I want to get better. And that's been my competition this year. As cliche as it is, my competition has been myself. My competition has been improving my physique. My competition has been knowing I get one pro debut and I want to make sure I'm at my best for it. So it's been very different in that sense. Not as much anxiety and a lot more enjoyable. It almost feels a bit of a blur at this point in the past 19 weeks because I've just been taking it day by day, focusing each day on what needs to be done and not looking too far into the future on what's going to happen on stage. And now we're here, 7 days out. So I'm excited. It's been a great prep. In terms of where I'm at physically, I'm very excited. I'm happy with the condition. I'm happy how I'm looking going into this show, and I feel like I've made the necessary improvements that I wanted to make to my physique, which is quite funny really. I was just talking to Peter off camera and I find it interesting. We all do the same, whether we're competitors or just people who train in general. We'll literally apply everything to our training for a whole year, let's say, and then we're actually surprised that our body's changed, and we all do it to ourselves. But yeah, the improvements are there and I'm excited for it. Hoodie's off. We're not giving too much away, but the veins are popping. It's a sign the conditions coming. Feels good. Let me think, have I had any challenges this prep?
No, not even one.
None. I'm immune to challenges, I just push through them all. Challenges this prep. It's hard for me to answer challenges to this prep because, like I've touched on before, it's been a lot less challenging mentally than it was last year. But what I will say to that is there has actually been challenges. I've had stuff go on away from prep once again, which weren't as bad as last year. But I feel like our experiences and the challenges we've been through previously should lead to us evolving as people and handling challenges better going forwards. So a challenge is always a positive, really, because you learn from it. And I feel like I've evolved as a person. I've learned to control my mind better. And therefore, this year's prep hasn't felt as challenging as previously, mentally, and when I've faced challenges in my life this year, because I've been able to handle them a lot better. I've been a lot better equipped to deal with them, figure out what I want going forward, and I've just attacked it, really, and got on with it. So yeah, challenges this prep, there has been some, but I've handled them a lot better this year. So that's a win in itself. Probably means more, I'd say, than winning a medal. If you're evolving as a person and you're able to attack life's challenges better each year as a result of what you've been through, that'll stand you in good stead for the rest of your life, not just on a bodybuilding stage. Don't get to hit this pose on stage. Oosh. T-shirts going back on. That's another thing at this point. You're always cold. And even when you get warm, it doesn't take long to get cold again. So back to the T-shirt. We're going to move on to rear delts now and then finish with a bit of biceps. Ha. Peak week plan. So we've spoke about this before. I spoke about it a little bit on the video with Josh, and also last year's prep series. At this point, we got the whiteboard out and we shared my complete peak week. So that is further down on the list of videos on the channel, but we're going to keep it simple this year because it is a very simple process, and I feel like people often complicate it and do too much and stress too much. So my thing for peak week is keep most things consistent, because if you're looking shredded in the gym, then you want to just take that to the stage. People make manipulations with water and all sorts, and I feel like it oftentimes either causes more stress because of the expectancy of what they think that might do to their body, or it just makes them look worse, because what you've got to think is the muscles are full of a lot of water. So you start cutting out water, are you going to bring a full shredded look to the stage? It is a lot harder to control. So for me personally, I keep most things the same, and I feel like that is the best way. Because again, one of the most important factors, especially on a peak week and going into a show, is managing the mind. So we keep it stress-free here. In terms of water and salt, because they'll work together based on your hydration. So what I'll start doing typically at 2 weeks out is I'll keep that very, very consistent. So I eat 6 meals a day. I have 1 gram of salt on each meal. So 6 grams of salt a day. And then my water stays around the 6 litre mark each day from there as well. Some days it might go a little bit higher, but 6 to 7 litres a day, fairly consistent, and my body is just set, regulated at that. And what you've got to think is any excess water that your body has at that point, it will just flush it out. So you really do not need to be cutting out water. I want to be full, I want to be shredded, so I keep water in all the way through peak week and on show day as well. So nothing's going to change there. It is just about consistency. I feel the one thing that does need to change is your carb intake, because at this point my physique, I can see at this point, is very flat and needs to fill out. So muscles as well as the water are going to be full of glycogen from your carbs. So one thing you need to do at some point is fill that muscle belly up with glycogen again with carbs. There's plenty of ways you can do it. You could do it early in the week and maintain it, or you can do it later in the week. My personal preference is to do it later in the week. Keep digging now, so I'm on low food at this point, which will result in me being depleted, and that's going to run all the way till Thursday now. And then Thursday I will start the carb load, which I will share on the channel as well, so that will likely be the next video. And basically, like I say, that's just to fill the glycogen stores up in the muscle. I'm still giving myself Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and again, it doesn't need to be overcomplicated, right? Because if I have a carb amount whereby Thursday, Friday, I feel like it's a little bit too much, I've got time to back off a little bit and pull back a little bit, and I've also got 3 days to fill out, so I'm not stressing on one given day, say the day before the show, thinking I've got to get in the right amount of carbs today. So it's spread out over those few days. Preference in that being doing it later in the week. Say I was full now and I need to maintain all week, that's just added stress. Looking in the mirror every day, am I maintaining fullness? So we're just going to keep digging through now till Thursday. Carb load starts Thursday. We go from there. Water, salt stays exactly the same, and then everything is nice and predictable. I'm just going to fill out a little bit. So this physique you see now will be the one that comes to the stage just fuller, just looking better in that respect. So there you go, peak week summed up very quickly, nice and simple, and that will ensure that we bring it to the stage. Don't skip the forearms. Job done. Session all done here at Nottingham Strong. Good pull session, back, rear delts, biceps, 7 days out from the WNBF Pro show in Germany. So 19 weeks into prep at this point. Got 3 weeks left. So 1 week going into this show and then 2 weeks until the Worlds, and then that is prep. 22 weeks in total all done. At this point, it's good to reflect on how the prep setup's been in terms of food and output. So I started prep around 77 kilos. Food started at around 2,700 calories a day. And also output around then was around 15,000 steps per day. At the highest point, which is obviously coming into now, so gradual increases in output, gradual reductions in food. The lowest my food's been has been just under 2,000 calories a day, and the highest output at one point was 20,000 steps a day, and then 40 minutes total cardio on top of that a day as well. So that might have involved like 20 minutes on a bike in the morning and then 20 minutes post-workout on the stairs, which I've touched on previously. So just the total output there was quite high, but that's what you got to do to get shredded. Even on the days I feel tired, getting 20,000 steps in, even if I'm walking the streets like a zombie. So started at 77 kilos. As of this morning, I was 68.3 kilos. So reduction in body weight, clear there to see. And striking around the same weight as last year, but I feel we've added improvements, and I feel like, to be honest, I've watched a couple of clips back on Peter's video and condition from the back is looking good on there. It's always crazy, I was saying it before, like you don't realise how you look and then you'll see it on a video and it's completely different to how you're picturing yourself in your head. So at points I've been like, oh, is condition all right? I see them clips and I'm like, okay, we're going to be okay, condition is there. So feeling good, ready to, like I say, attack this peak week and carb load from Thursday ready into the show. And that I will share the full process on the channel as well and vlog the trip to Germany as I go. Another thing I've done on this prep is I did do some blood tests along the way to see how my natural testosterone levels were affected during this prep. I kind of changed my approach to this a couple of times. So I was going to do it just right at the beginning of prep and right at the end of prep. But then after the first test, I was kind of like, I want to see at what points in prep it drops. So I did it every 6 weeks to start. The first 6 weeks I did it, so the first test I did was at 18 weeks out, and it dropped a tiny bit up until 12 weeks out, not much change. Then I did the test again at 6 weeks out, so 5 weeks ago, and there was a more aggressive drop that landed me literally just within healthy range. So I'm very confident at this point, having felt the effects more since then, that my natural testosterones are below what is considered the healthy range. But one thing I will say on that is, and I had this conversation with a couple of people, is I've still been strong in the gym, I've still retained muscle, so you just got to suck it up and get on with it. It can be a result of a natural bodybuilding prep that your natural testosterone levels are going to drop. But if you can control this and you can attack each session motivated to keep hitting it hard, keep training hard, I feel even with that, you will retain muscle and you will retain strength. So no excuses for us natty guys at all. But I was going to do the test again this week, but to be honest with you, I don't want to know what it is. So I'm literally saving that test until the week of the Worlds. So when I find out how low it is, I'm literally a few days away from being able to up my food, put some body fat back on and actually do something about it, rather than spending the next couple of weeks thinking, I don't feel great, it's because of that, and have like something on my mind that's a negative. So we're saving that, and we will bring that to the channel as well when I get that last result. So finally, I've reflected on it a bit during this video, how I felt during the prep regarding this show, regarding my season this year as a pro, but now how I'm feeling at this current point and how I've felt this week. Because as with all emotions, they're very subject to change. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. Like I say, we just have to control the mind, have a little think to ourselves at times, and just redirect our thoughts to a place where they are a bit more positive. So this week, I have become aware over the last couple of weeks of people I'm competing against. And to be honest, this show in Germany is going to be no joke. first pro show, I am not getting up there in an easy show. I'm literally chucking myself in the deep end. There are multiple previous pro world champions doing this show. There are multiple guys who have took top placings at the Pro Worlds. So I am going up against the best of the best in this first pro show. So again, a little bit of imposter syndrome can kick in at times, and I'm like, am I worthy of sharing the stage with these guys? Being very honest, those thoughts kind of cross your mind. Am I going to be good enough to be up there in the placings? I've had little moments where I've thought like that, and then you kind of sit down, have a little think about it, and you realise, you know what, I've earned my place on this stage. I had to work very, very hard to get my pro card. I had to win a world title as an amateur to win my pro card. So I've got to get up there proud. I've worked so hard this past year to improve my physique. I literally got off that pro stage and did not relax. I had a very solid off season. Literally structured my meal plan throughout the whole of the off season, my training plan throughout the off season, and then this prep I've literally been reflecting on last year, comparing and making sure I work harder and harder this year than I ever have. So I'm getting on that stage proud next weekend, and I'm very, very excited to do so. So there is a part of me that's like, this is going to be a tough show. Do I belong up there? I don't know. But then there's another part of me that's like, no, we're bringing it. I was about to swear then. We are bringing it. We are bringing our best. I'm there not to make up the numbers. I'm there to compete. So I'm going into next weekend proud. I'm going into next weekend excited. And each day, I'm just going to embrace whatever I'm doing that day, whether it's training, whether it's getting the meals in. I love what I do. I love the process of it all, so I'm going to literally zone in each day on the process of what I've got to do that day and enjoy it, because that time is right now. One day we're not going to be competing anymore. I don't want to look back on that time and think, oh, I didn't really enjoy that. I've put myself in a position through hard work where I deserve to enjoy this, I feel, so that's what I'm going to do this week, and let's see how things shape up on stage. But I just know I've worked my arse off for this, and we're bringing it. To calm down, I was about to get a little bit emotional there, but right, where we're at now, where we're at with the channel going forward. So 3 weeks of prep left to go. Next videos, carb up, traveling to Germany, first pro show. I'm going to be vlogging it all, bringing it to the channel. Very excited for that. Then I come back from Germany. We're booked in with Peter again. We have to do a very, very good video with Peter, pre-Worlds once again, to bring to the channel, and the last one with him for this prep. Then flying out to Seattle, vlogging the whole trip. So I'm bringing that to the channel as well. The whole Pro Worlds, my first Pro Worlds. And then after that, prep is done and I'm off to Las Vegas. So I'm going to be bringing videos to the channel there as well, and plenty of content. Probably involving a lot of nice food as well at that point. So please make sure, if you haven't already, you've subscribed to the channel, because I feel like these videos coming up are going to be the best that have ever come to this channel. So make sure you're tuning in. After that, prep will be done, and I'll say at this point, I've had a few inquiries. I will be taking on more online coaching clients at the end of this prep, ready to smash it going into the new year and next year as well. So guys, if you are interested in online coaching, now is the time to get on my application, which is linked below this video, and get involved, guys. I'm excited to coach more and more people. Like I say, this is what I love, and I just want to keep sharing it with as many people as possible and keep helping as many people as possible, which is why I bring these videos to the channel essentially. So guys, if you are interested, click the link below and I'll be in touch with you, ready to get you set up with that before the year is over. Right, I feel like that's enough for today's video. I'm gonna get rested up. I'm gonna get some more food in for today, even though it's not a lot, and we are gonna smash this week. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next video when we are getting ready to carb load for Germany. Thanks for watching.